Señoritas y señores, bienvenidos a otro video para Español 1. And once again, as always, señoritas y señores, muchísimas gracias for making it to my YouTube channel, for finding me on here. And if you are taking Español 1 conmigo, with me, capítulo 3A, chapter 3A, and that has to do with la comida, for example, el desayuno, breakfast, el almuerzo, lunch, and then other stuff that goes along with it. Beverages and other expressions that have to do with la comida. But we are exploring la gramática, the grammar section of chapter 3A. So I'm going to start you off with present tense of ER and IR ending verbs. We've already covered the AR ending verbs, but now it's time for us to take on those ER and IR ending verbs and how to conjugate in the present tense. So we'll get to that. And then in addition, me gustan and me encantan. Hopefully by now you know what me gusta or me gustan means, but then also me encanta and me encantan and when to use one or the other. So action-packed video for Español 1. So how about if we get right to it, señoritas y señores. Once again, muchísimas gracias for checking in with me, and don't forget to leave a comment below in the comment section, obviously, for your homework points. Let's get to work, clase. Here we go. Señoritas y señores, vamos a empezar con el presente de los verbos que terminan en ER y IR. Ladies and gentlemen, ER ending and IR ending verbs. Página 132 en tu libro. Página 132. Yeah, so there you go. So on your own, of course, por favor, be sure that you read this whole bit right over here in your libro, but I am going to give you the PowerPoint version, and let's take a look at all the details in regard to how to use ER and IR ending verbs in the present tense when you're trying to learn Spanish. So let me have you recap, or let's recap together what we got to do in order for us to use AR ending infinitives in the present tense. You take your infinitive, you drop the last two letters, and then you have to put in brand new letters so that you can reflect who is performing this action. Because don't forget, verbs are action words: to run, to jump, to hike, to ski, to eat, to sleep, and so on and so on. So as a quick review, how about if we take a look at the verb hablar? Okay, so if you remember, hablar means to talk. And if you're going to say something like me gusta hablar, keep it AR ending, okay? Keep it me gusta hablar. Do not change hablar if you're going to use me gusta first and then hablar after it. Anytime you say me gusta, you're going to need to keep the verb that goes after it AR-ER-IR ending, okay? So don't mess with hablar if you're going to use me gusta first. But if you're not going to use me gusta, then perhaps you need to conjugate the verb hablar in the present tense. So let's once again do the whole procedure. Let's take hablar. Let's get rid of the AR. Now we're left with H-A-B-L, H-A-B-L. That's our stem. And then just like Lego pieces, you add these pieces at the very end, depending on who is talking. Yo hablo. Tú hablas. Usted, él, ella habla. Nosotros hablamos. Ustedes, ellos, ellas hablan. Okay? Caminar. Yo camino. Tú caminas. Usted, él, ella camina. Nosotros caminamos. Ustedes, ellos, ellas caminan. Again, if this is all fuzzy to you, you can go back to my previous videos where I cover present tense of AR ending verbs. All right? And just like building a house, it's best that you master those old skills before you can add up or, add on to your current knowledge of Español. Without that foundation, it's pretty shaky. All right? So now let's go to ER ending infinitives, ladies and gentlemen. It's the same exact procedure, all right? It's the same exact approach. You're gonna need to take your ER ending infinitives, such as comer or beber, and let's do the same exact approach as we did with AR ending verbs. So take comer, get rid of the ER, okay? So now you're left with the stem, which is C-O-M, C-O-M, and just like with the other AR ending verbs, you're gonna add brand new pieces over here. But this time, the letters are different. Look at this, all right? Well, mostly different. Some of them are still the same. Like, for example, in the yo form, yo como, I eat.
But then there might be some other differences as you go along the list or down the list. Tú comes, you eat. Usted, él, ella come. Nosotros, nosotras comemos, we eat. Ustedes, ellos, ellas comen, you guys or they eat. All right. Beber, which means to drink. Yo bebo, tú bebes. Usted, él, ella bebe. Nosotros bebemos. Ustedes, ellos, ellas beben. And those are just a couple of examples. But again, almost any ER ending infinitive, you can do this whole thing right over here. All right. Let's go to IR ending verbs, such as compartir, to share, or escribir, to write. Again, ladies and gentlemen, it's the same approach. We're going to take compartir and we're going to get rid of the IR. And now we're left with the stem, C-O-M-P-A-R-T. Okay, comparte is what we're left with. And put these new pieces in. Yo comparto, I share. Tú compartes, you share. Usted, él, ella comparte, you formal or he or she shares. Nosotros compartimos. Okay, now before I move on, look at this. Your IR ending verbs, if you're going to conjugate in the nosotros form, ends in IMOS. Okay, whereas ER ending verbs, they end in EMOS. So be very careful with that because it's very easy to get confused, all right? Because as you can see, I'm switching back and forth from ER endings to IR endings, and they are super duper similar. In fact, the only difference is when you get to the nosotros form, okay? So nosotros compartimos, all right? Ustedes, ellos, ellas comparten. Let's take escribir. Once again, get rid of the IR. E-S-C-R-I-B. Escrib is what we're left with. And then put in the pieces that are missing. Yo escribo, I write. Tú escribes, you write. Usted, él, ella escribe. You formal or he or she writes. Nosotros, sometimes nosotras escribimos. We write. Ustedes, you guys. Ellos, they, ellas, they females, escriben. And that is how you conjugate IR ending verbs. All right. So let me go ahead and have you, actually, let me do this real quick. Let me go ahead and have you follow my lead. I've got my little PowerPoint right over here. So let's just recap. Okay. So for example, if I want to say I drink using the verb beber in the present tense, what is my new word? All right. Yo bebo. You know, in Mexico, actually, not a whole lot of people say beber. I mean, I've heard it some places, but the most common way to say I drink or to drink in Español, a beverage is tomar. Yeah, tomar can also mean to take, but in this context, yo tomo la leche, tú tomas la leche. That's an AR ending verb. Nosotros tomamos la leche, and so on and so forth. Nosotros compartir. Okay, compartir is our infinitive. We have to conjugate it in the nosotros form, present tense. Do you guys remember how? There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Nosotros compartimos. We share. All right, let's take a verb like leer. Why don't you work this one out? Ellos leen. They read. Ellos leen. Okay? Tocar, as in tocar la guitarra. What do you think? Okay, if usted is performing the action, if you're talking to somebody with respect, usted toca. Because it's a usted, el, ella conjugation. Usted, el, ella conjugation. And then finally, comer, we want to say she eats in Spanish. Ella come. All right. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, practice makes perfect. So if this is not sinking in right away, then just keep at it, because persistence and patience is the key, and repetition is the key as well when acquiring another language such as Español. Okay. Nothing is ever instant, okay? If you want to get good at something, you always have to keep working at it so that you can get good at it, okay? Most definitely, you have to have the right mindset. Si se puede. Yes, we can, all right?
The other lesson that you need to know, or the other lesson I should cover that you need to know, is something called me gustan and me encantan. That's going to be on página 135, page 135 in your textbook. So once again, on your own, you've got the textbook with you. Por favor, van a leer. You guys are going to read all about that. And really, there isn't very much to it. All it is that if you want to indicate that you like, or if you really like or love something, there's some basic rules you got to remember. All right, so let's take a look at me gusta. Let's recap me gusta. Hopefully by now everyone knows me gusta. I like, okay? I like something. I like a person, place, or thing. And now it's the introduction of me encanta. And this is on your current flashcards. If you're taking me for La Clase de Español, I'll make you guys do flashcards. And now, if you want to one-up me gusta, you say me encanta. I really like, or I love, okay? Now, it's kind of hard to make a direct translation between English and Spanish in regards to me gusta and me encanta, but literally, what you're trying to say in Spanish is that thing, that person, place, or thing is pleasing to me, okay? So, for example, if I say, I love that book because I like to read, well, you would say, I love that book in English, but the equivalent in Spanish would probably be, me encanta ese libro. I like that, or I love that book. But if you try to directly translate me encanta ese libro, you're more or less trying to say, or the rough translation would be, that book is pleasing to me, okay? And again, it sounds weird when you try to directly translate it into English, but in Spanish, it totally works, okay? All right, both me gusta and me encanta, they talk about singular nouns, okay? So if you're going to be using me gusta or me encanta, you're going to have to pay attention to how many you're talking about, okay? So let's take a look at the first example right over here. La pizza, that's a singular noun. It's a singular feminine noun, but right here we're concerned more about how many. So if it's just one pizza, me gusta la pizza. Huh? Pretty simple, right? Me encanta el té helado. All right, so I love, or I really like, depending on the context of the conversation, iced tea. And how many iced teas are we talking about? El té helado is only one. And there you go. Well, what if we want to talk about things that are plural? So what you got to do, you have to make a small adjustment. So you're still going to use gusta and encanta, but you're going to have to add an extra letter to gusta and encanta. Take a look right over here. You have to add the N to both to reflect that you like plural things. Okay, so here's an example. Las papas fritas. Everybody loves French fries, don't you know? And of course, in order for you to say that you like plural things in Spanish, me gustan las papas fritas. It's a grammar rule, okay? So las papas fritas is plural. Now your word gusta has to be gustan to reflect that you like plural things. Me encantan las hamburguesas. I love hamburgers. Me encantan and not me encanta, okay? Because once again, if you leave that N off and you like plural things, that's incorrect Spanish, okay? You're not following the grammar rules. Me encantan las hamburguesas. So a lot of learning Spanish is attention to detail, and that's exactly what I talk about when I'm always saying mind your P's and Q's, cross your T's and dot your I's when you're learning Español. To use me gusta or me gustan, or me encanta or me encantan correctly, might I suggest this, what you need to know. Because here's the thing. Again, in English, a lot of times when you talk about foodstuffs, you can completely get rid of the word the. Okay, so if you say, I like pizza, there's no need for you to say, I like the pizza. You can just get rid of the word the and then say, I like pizza. All right. In Spanish, though, you can include the el, la, los, or las, and it is totally correct. Nobody blinks an eye. So in Spanish, it's slightly different. So you can say, me gusta la pizza, and people go about their business, okay?
Me encanta el jugo. Notice that the definite article el is being used over here. Translating that directly into English, I like the juice. Again, nobody says I like the juice in English. A lot of people just say I like juice. But in Spanish, it totally works. ¿Qué te gustan más? ¿Las papas fritas o los perritos calientes? What do you like more? The French fries or the hot dogs? Okay. Perros calientes or perritos calientes are both hot dogs. But look at this second example right over here. You can see that gustan is plural, las is a plural definite article, papas fritas is plural, los is a plural definite article, perritos calientes is a plural noun. So again, you're always going to hear me say this in Spanish, but matchy matchy. You got to make sure that everything agrees with number and gender all the way through your Spanish sentences, okay? And that is it. That is it, señoritas y señores. And I want to say muchísimas gracias as always. For making time for Spanish. And that's what you got to know for Chapter 3A Grammar. And of course, as always, we'll practice en la clase de Español. All right? That's it. I got to get out of here. I mean it this time, for reals. I got to cut this video short. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Don't forget to leave a comment below. Adios.